we're going to need oil for at least another decade. Who in their right mind would invest hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in building a new refinery, go through all the EPA garbage that Biden's EPA would put them through, or any EPA would put them through, in order to build a new oil refinery, and spend $1 billion, have to borrow it, and given the fact that it wouldn't be viewed as green, it would be they'd have to get, they'd end up with a high interest rate. There wouldn't be a lot of money flowing from all of the green investment funds that exist out there for growing our refining capacity. In fact, this isn't just me talking. Check out what the Chevron CEO said way back in June of the last year. Here's what he said. I'm going to have to read it. There hasn't been a refinery built. No, first of all, he does not. Chevron CEO Mike Wirth says he does not expect another oil refinery to be built in the U.S. ever again, pointing to decades of federal government policies as the reason why. Quote unquote. There hasn't been a refinery built in this country since the 1970s, Wirth said at Bernstein's Strategic Decisions Conference this week. When asked about the prospect of new capacity being added in the Gulf of Mexico, he said, I personally don't believe there will be a new petroleum refinery ever built in the country again. Capacity is added by debottlenecking existing units by investing in existing refineries, he explained. But what we've seen over the last 2 years during the Biden administration are shutdowns. We've seen refineries closed. We've seen units come down. We've seen refineries being repurposed to become biorefineries. And we live in a world where the stated policy of the U.S. government is to reduce demand for the products that refiners produce. And there you have it, folks. We have a president of the United States, who doesn't understand that if you tell somebody, we don't want you to produce your product and we're going to make it so it's very difficult for you to produce it, and we're going to make it so it's unprofitable to produce it, and we're going to deny you the ability to both be able to explore for new oil, but also to be able to refine it. Because remember, one of the keys here is America has huge oil reserves. A lot of it is in the Bakken oil field and elsewhere, which is from hydraulic fracturing. The oil produced out of hydraulic fracturing tends to be a different type of oil, and there's multiple types of oil, a different type of oil than our refineries are set up to actually be able to refine. So what you have here is very simple. You have a circumstance where Joe Biden has put the thumb again on the scale against refining, and then he has the audacity in his State of the Union address to say, we're going to need new oil for a decade or so. Nobody's investing $1 billion for, which you won't get your return on the investment back in 10 years. Nobody's doing that. Joe Biden does not understand basic economics, or he thinks that you and I don't. The fact of the matter is, the way out of the problem that we've had during the Biden administration of streaking high oil and gas prices is to be able to domestically refine it, increase our refining capacity dramatically. And yet refineries are being shut down by this administration. Refineries are being converted to biofuels refineries by this administration's policies. So every time you go to the gas pump and you see that you're paying $1.50 more a gallon than you did when Donald Trump was president, I want you to remember that it is this administration's direct policies to shut down the refining capacity in this country and effectively say, we will not refine the oil that we pull out of the ground and create an independence because we don't want it. We don't want it. We have a policy to eliminate it. Understand that has consequences, and Joe Biden can't have it both ways. You can't shut down refineries and then say we need refining capacity and blame the oil companies for not building new refineries. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. This is Rick Manning, President Americans for Limited Government. Take care. Subscribe to us at dailytorch.com. That's dailytorch.com.